Hello kids, it's nice to see you all. I'm Sir Michael, your live stream teacher for Valenzuela Live in English 6, Quarter 2. Today, we're going to talk about the most essential learning competency. Identify the purpose, key, structural, and language features of various types of informational or factual text. EN6 RC-IIA-3.2.8 with subskill focus. Distinguish various types of informational or factual text. EN6 LC-IIA-3.2. Just like before, please type in your name, the initials of your school, and your section in the comment box for your attendance. I will give you 30 seconds to do it. Your time starts now. Are you done? So, if you are ready, get your paper and pen. Sit up straight, listen carefully, and let's start our class today. Let us start by answering the following. Here are some jumbled letters. Can you guess what these jumbled letters are? I will give you 3 minutes. Try to answer as much as you can. And your time starts now. Answers are correct. Let us have the number 1. The answer for number 1 is information, which means facts or data. Very good. How about number 2? What's your answer? The answer for number 2 is non-fiction, a type of writing that is based on facts, real events, and real people. Very good. Let's have number 3. We have the word procedure. This word means steps in doing things. Okay, very good. The answer for number 4 is expository. This means to explain or describe something. And the last word in our list is argument, a reason or set of reasons to influence other people. Did you get all the words correctly? I hope that you do. Again, the words that we have are information, non-fiction, procedure, expository, and argument. Great! Now, let's talk about the informational text. We learn something every day by reading. Whether we know it or not, we learn through various reading sources like the social media, the smartphone applications, and newspapers. These texts are informative because they build upon our prior knowledge or feed us with information that we don't know. This is one of the most popular types of writing, and it's known as informational text. We will learn more about informational text and its features through this lesson. What is informational text? Informational text is non-fiction writing, written to inform the reader about a specific topic. It is typically found in magazines, science or history books, autobiographies, and instruction materials. They are written using special text features that allow the reader to easily find key information and understand the main topic. There are 4 types of informational texts that we are going to discuss today. They are the literary nonfiction, procedural text, expository text, and argument or persuasion text. Literary nonfiction is a type of text that employs literary techniques usually associated with fiction or poetry to report on persons, places, and events in the real world without altering the facts. It includes shorter texts such as personal essays, speeches, opinion pieces, essays about art or literature, biographies, memoirs, journals, and historical, scientific, technical, or economic accounts written for a broad audience. Autobiographies, biographies, other narrative nonfiction, informational picture books, and informational poetry often fit into this category. Narrative informational text typically communicates accurate information and has a well-defined beginning, middle, and end. Informational poetry weaves facts into poems. In your module, the given example is the short biography of President Rodrigo Roa Duterte. Check your modules and let us read the example text. President Rodrigo Roa Duterte was born on March 28, 1945 in Maasin, Southern Leyte, of Vicente Duterte and Soledad Roa, who were both civil servants. His mother was a public school teacher, while his father was a government worker. He graduated in 1968 with a Bachelor of Arts degree in Political Science at the Lyceum of the Philippines University and obtained a law degree from San Beda College of Law in 1972. He passed bar exam at the same year. He is among the longest-serving mayors in the Philippines and has been mayor of Davao City for 7 terms. On May 9, 2016, he won a landslide victory as the 16th President of the Philippines. He was officially proclaimed by the joint session of the Philippine Congress on May 30, 2016. He is the first president from Mindanao and the first local chief executive to get elected straight to the office of the president. In our text, what is the text all about? You are correct. It is about our current President, Rodrigo Roa Duterte. The biography of the president talks of facts about his birth, his parents, his studies, and his political career, leading up to become the President of the Republic of the Philippines. After this live stream, check the provided self-learning module. Try to answer the questions on what's new on your own and see how convenient the facts are given in a literary nonfiction text type. As you answer those questions, you will be able to gather factual information from the text you had read. As a writer, if you're about to write facts about topic like person's life, like that of Gato Rizal, your friend, or about yourself, what you need to do is to gather facts, read a lot of your topic, note important details about it, arrange the facts properly, make use of an outline to plan out your thoughts, and write it in a paragraph form as briefly as you can, or write it direct to the point. In that way, you can write a concise and straight to the point literary nonfiction text. And that is literary nonfiction, a type of text that gives us information without altering the facts. The next informational text type that we have is the procedural text. Procedural text instruct the readers on how to complete a specific task. To be able to follow a procedure, take note of transitional words that signal the time or order of steps such as first, then, next, and lastly. The example that we have in our module is entitled Safety Measures Before Typhoon. Let us read the example procedural text. Read it with me. A whole year-round typhoon occurs. It is necessary to be prepared for the coming of any typhoon as predicted. First and foremost, inspect your house if it needs to be repaired or fixed. Then, clean up the house drainage system to avoid blockage. Next, store an adequate supply of food and water good for a few days. Then, ensure that appliances should be placed in an elevated position. They might be damaged if water can penetrate them in case of floodwater rushes into your house. Lastly, always keep flashlights, candles, batteries, and first aid supplies. So, according to the text, how do we prepare before a typhoon? First, inspect your house if it needs some repairs. Next, store an adequate supply of food and water that will last for a few days. Then, ensure that appliances be placed in an elevated position. And, lastly, always keep flashlights, candles, batteries, and first aid supplies. Great! You are now prepared for a typhoon. Keep it up. While reading the text, have you noticed the signal words that mentioned? What are the signal words that are used in the text? Type your answer in the comment box below. I will give you 10 seconds to do it. So, what are the signal words that you have read? Okay, so the signal words that we have read are first, next, then, and lastly. They give us the steps to follow on how to prepare for a typhoon. If you are going to write a procedural text, like how to cook or how to go somewhere, gather first your facts. Next, list down the important details. Then, you may use either an outline or a graphic organizer to arrange your thought. And lastly, when writing, make use of signal words to indicate the steps that your reader needs to do to accomplish the task. Also, always imagine yourself doing the steps that you have placed and see if you can accomplish the task. If you cannot accomplish the task using the steps that you have placed, then that is an effective procedural text. Procedural text, it gives us instruction on how to complete a specific task. Now let's go to expository text. Okay. Expository text type provides facts in a way that is educational and purposeful. The text is fact-based to expose the truth through a reliable source. It is also described as clear, concise, and organized way of writing. expository text gets to the point quickly and efficiently. It does this by utilizing various text structures such as description, cause and effect, comparison contrast, problem and solution, question and answer, and temporal sequence. In your self-learning modules, the example text is the comparison and contrast between the moon and the sun. Join me in reading the text. Are you ready? Let's read. The moon and the sun. The moon and the sun are both bright, round objects in the sky. Indeed, viewed from the Earth's surface, both appears as similarly sized disks. That said, however, they are otherwise very different. The sun is a star, while the moon is a large mass of rock and dirt. According to some theories, the sun formed from the solar nebula, a giant mass of cloud and dust that collapsed because of its gravity. When it did, the material that pulled it into the center formed the sun. When the Earth was formed in the early solar system, it didn't have a moon. The moon was likely created when a large planet collided with Earth. The resulting particle cloud rose and eventually condensed into the moon. The text type that we have read talks about moon and the sun. It utilized the compare and contrast structure to tell us the similarities and differences between the two heavenly bodies. Now, how to write. If you are asked to write an expository type of text, imagine yourself trying to explain your topic to somebody. Do some research. Note some facts and organize them logically. After checking the facts that you have gathered, identify what text structure is most appropriate in writing down your facts. Always remember to be factual, direct to the point, and concise. And that is the expository text. It describes and explains ideas by providing us with facts in a clear, concise, and organized way. The next one is argument or persuasion. Argument or persuasion text aims to convince us, the readers. It provides evidence with the intent of influencing the beliefs or actions of the target audience. These texts typically include claims, pieces of evidence, and warrants to explain how the pieces of evidence are linked to the claims. Writers of persuasion or argument also make appeal to the author's credibility, to the audience needs or reason and evidence. By the way, do you know what's the difference between argument and persuasion? An argument influences the reader by using evidence and reasoning to express a point of view and uncover the truth for the reader. Texts in magazine and journal articles are usually arguments. Persuasion, on the other hand, aggressively seeks to change the reader's opinion and stimulate an action based on the author's truth. Debate and advertising are forms of persuasion. The examples of argument or persuasion in your self-learning module is about the effect of mobile phone on children. Come and read the text with me. Many children now possess a mobile phone and they are fast becoming the latest fashion item. Children continue to use mobiles despite the obvious risk to their health. Mobile phones emit a dosage of radiation, which is harmful to the user and can cause severe brain damage. Mobiles are useful, however. They enable parents to maintain contact with their children whenever they need to. There are also obvious benefits to their use in emergencies. The recent rise in crimes associated with mobiles is a worrying trend. Many of our children are under threat of violence merely by the possession of a phone. Parents should think carefully before purchasing a mobile phone for their child. Okay, so in this example, the author of the text argues that parents should be careful in deciding to allow and purchase a mobile phone for their child. He does this by mentioning the health risks and crimes associated with using mobile phones. If you were asked to write this type of text, imagine yourself trying to convince someone. Well, let's say your mom or your dad. Imagine that you are trying to convince them to buy you something, like a mobile phone or a chocolate. You need to give enough reasons to prove that it is worth their money to buy you what you are requesting and that it can give positive results for you. It will also help a lot if you're going to write a clear and coherent topic sentence for this write-up. And that is argument and persuasion text. They aim to convince the reader using pieces of evidence about the beliefs or truths. Let's have an activity. Let's answer the following by matching column A with column B. Write your answer on a scratch paper. I will give you 1 minute to answer. Your time starts now. Your time is up. Let us now answer the following. Number 1. Argument text. What do you think is the best answer? By definition, it includes claims, evidence, and warrants to explain how the evidence is linked to the claims. The answer is letter D. Number 2. Literary nonfiction. What do you think is the best answer? Okay, it is letter C because it includes biographies, memoirs, journals, and historical, scientific, technical, or economic accounts. Let's have number 3, procedural text. The best description is in letter B. Provides step-by-step guidelines that describes how to complete a task. Let's have number 4. Okay, expository text. It utilizes question and answer, problem and solution, and that's letter A. If you got 4 points, congratulations, you have learned well. In summary, informational text is a text based on facts with the intention of informing the reader about a specific topic. It can be about the arts, sciences, or social studies. Literary nonfiction reports facts about persons, places, and events without altering the facts. Procedural text provides step-by-step guidelines that describes how to complete a task. Expository text provide facts by utilizing various text structures such as description, cause-effect, comparison and contrast, problem solution, and many more. Finally, argument or persuasion text provides evidence with the intent of influencing the beliefs or actions of the target audience. If you have reached this part of the lesson, please press the heart button to tell us that you're still there. We are now on the part of the live stream where I will answer some of your questions. I will give you 1 minute to type in your questions in the comment box. Please do not ask questions that are not related to our topic today. Your 60 seconds start now. We are now going to read some questions from the comment section and I'll try to answer them for you. Question number 1 from Clark Joseph Abunales. What is an autobiography? Is it different from a biography? Thank you for your question, Clark. Let's talk first about biography. It comes from the two Greek words bios, which means life, and graphia, which means writing. Together, it means life in writing. It is a written account of a life of a person. Usually, a prominent one like Gato Rizal and other famous people. Now, when we talk about autobiography, we have the prefix which is auto, which means self or one's own. An autobiography is a written account of a person's life written by that person. He himself wrote his life story, while in biography, other people write this story for him. If you're going to write about the life of Andres Bonifacio, then that is a biography. But if you're going to write about yourself, that is an autobiography. Okay, let's have question number 2 from Juliana Escandor. What is an expository text? Expository text may sound confusing and hard, but it is just the word that means describing or explaining. When you write an expository text, you are describing ideas or explaining them to people. What you do is to present facts in an organized manner and present it in writing. As simple as that, so don't be scared of the word expository. It simply means to describe or explain. Thank you for your question, Juliana. Question number 3 from Kent Earl Martinez. What is temporal sequence? Okay, very good. Now, temporal sequence as defined by the freedictionary.com means an arrangement of two or more things in successive order. It is also known as chronological sequence. So, it is a succession or the arrangement of sequences. Thank you for your question, Kent. Now, I would like to thank all of you for your participation and all your questions sent. Just keep on asking. Remember that learning starts in asking questions. May I remind you that tomorrow will be your follow-up discussion with your English subject teacher. You can ask all your questions and clarify your ideas with them. So, do not forget to participate tomorrow. If you want a copy of my PowerPoint presentation for this topic, you can download it using the link that you can see on the board. Just remember to use your @debe.gov.ph email address to gain access to the file. I hope that you have enjoyed today's lesson. Tune in again for the next live stream of the Valenzuela Live for English 6 for quarter 2. Again, as our Secretary of Education, Leonor Briones mentioned, in any situation, learning must continue. Stay home, stay safe, and God bless us all. This is Sir Michael Divino Flor, your live streaming teacher for Valenzuela Live in English 6, saying thank you and have a great day.